Thanks for stopping by the forge, guys. Let's take a look at this new knife. So what we have here is actually a replica knife. It's a replica of a knife from a video game, Resident Evil. And this is the design that I was asked to make. Normally I do my own designs, but this one I really liked. It functions kind of like a kukri bolo that's got a false edge. So it felt very good. We'll talk about that later. What we've got is an 8-inch blade, 5-inch handle, forged from 5160 high carbon steel. What were we? 3/16 stock there, a little bit thicker than that. And you can see our edge is almost a Scandi Vex style. You can see where the relief edge begins right there. And then there's a false edge here. I recommended that not be sharpened just because it would kind of cut out a lot of the utility of the knife. But this is a fighter slash kind of survival knife. I can actually see this knife being put to great use in the jungle. When I was in Cambodia, a lot of the natives there were using bigger knives bigger than this. This would kind of be a small knife from their perspective. And I can see them just totally loving this because of its versatility. So what we've got is this recurve edge. It's putting the weight out here about 3/4 of the way through the entire blade. And that feels really good along with that accelerated curve. This chops terrifically. I'll show you that in just a moment. And we've got a centered point here with this false edge that actually allows this to pierce pretty well. So I was impressed with that. And you kind of see this kind of goofy Dr. Seuss type curve there. That's from the design of the knife of the picture I got. So I didn't love that at first. I don't know if I like it or not aesthetically, but functionally it does actually work pretty well because it centers that point with the center of the handle. Moving back, we've got a really nice red and black micarta handle here, and got my texturing in there to make this stick in your hand, and then a little bit of that bird's head type grip. And that swoop down also really just helps retain the knife when you're doing some chopping. And then the customer opted for this exposed tang so they could kind of smash and bash with that. So let's give you a look at the tang and spine here. Look at the edge, and you can see that convex edge geometry right there. One of the fun things about this knife is how it handles. You feel it and it's very lively, kind of like a nice boa. You almost wish that back was sharpened so you could get a back cut there, but the knife moves very well in the hand. So if you look, our balance point is really just straight right in that ricassa region, kind of right where you'd want it, right there. So balance point just in front of the hand, and it makes this move really well. It's a fast knife, but man, with this curvature here, when you crank down with these grippy fingers here, it really makes it go fast for the snap cut. So this is a military guy. He wanted it for a military application, and that being the case, this sort of thing and then this sort of thing, it would work well. This would really, it centers up, it just feels good with the thrust, and it really feels good with the chop. So this knife just handles like a champ. It's got a bolo feel. It feels more like a bolo than a kukri. The kukris are kind of whoosh, whoosh, but this is definitely faster than that. So I love the way this works like a combat knife, the way it feels like a combat knife, but the way it goes at utility is also pretty amazing, and realistically that's what it's going to be used for. Let me show you some of the utility. Wow. Really just swings in there and bites. It bites in there deeply. Let's just finish this off here. So, look at that. Eats through it like nothing. Of course, it's just gonna be a great refining knife. Yeah. But here's what I really love. When I choke up on this, look how close my hand is to the blade, and I can get some great control, and with that shallow edge, I can do feathers like this. I mean, this is like a Scandinavian bushcraft knife right here. Look at this. It just slides though so well with the grind and with the angle, with the curvature of the handle. Okay, watch how the very tip of this will just slide through the sisal rope. Look at that. And I barely had any edge on there, but it sharpened out to there and it's able to make those cuts because it thins out. Now I'd be remiss to not show you a little bit of the tip strength here. So yes, it is very fine and it can go through rope, but yes, it is equally strong and durable, and it will not snap off really under any circumstances that I can think of. Check it out. All right, we've seen utility. Let's see a little something that has to deal with combat. These are some pants that I don't wear anymore, but they're canvas. Honestly, I did not know if that went through or not until I checked the camera. I couldn't really feel it. That was pretty easy. Let's go up a little bit higher where there's a few more layers of canvas here. Just going right through those pants. Quite simple. Okay, a lot of knives, when they're applied widely like this, will slide across this material. That's dangerous if you're fighting with this knife because guess what? You're not gonna cut through the clothing. I don't know if you've ever had a knife slide off of a tomato skin or slide off of saran wrap or slide off of an onion skin. Sometimes this kind of loose fabric type material can bunch up on the knife and just won't go through it, and it's not an effective weapon. So let's just see how this does this wide slice here. Really just goes right through it as I just pull. And that's what you're gonna need. Let's put those 2x4s to good use. How about it a little farther? All right, let's finish off by talking about the sheath. This is a Kydex sheath, as you can see, form-fitted to the knife. And we just got lots and lots of eyelets through here. And what that does is it gives you maximum customization. You can put clips on here. You can put a tech lock on here. You can have me, if you want, use some Chicago screws and get a little leather loop on there so you can wear it on your belt traditionally. You can run paracord through there and go scout style if you want to, or vertical if you want to. You can really do anything you want, and it's very lightweight, very thin, doesn't take up a big footprint. So this is great if you've got a bunch of gear on your LBE and you want to incorporate a knife this big. Well, this is a good one. Now, is there a cat climbing? Okay, there's a cat climbing on the screen. Not the computer screen, but the screen of the window. So, we'll just show how thin that is. Tuck it right in. Right, so you could go with it like this. This is kind of third world style, right? When you're in the third world, they just like to tuck stuff into the belts or the sarongs or the cremas or whatever they happen to have there. Take it out, do your work, chop your coconuts, and back in it goes. Could draw here, take it here. This is just nice. This is actually a really good way to carry a knife. And then when you're done, just take it out and lay it down. When you want to go somewhere, pick it up. And so you could just use it like this with no modifications at all, just keeping it in your belt. But that's what a sheath is. You're probably familiar with Kydex sheaths. They really are great. They're hard to beat for their durability, their lightweight, and their just concealability. They're automatic lock too. I don't need to do anything special to keep this knife retained in here. It's just gonna hold because of the tension of the sheath itself. So that sheath is included with the purchase, and there's the overall package. So thank you guys for watching. This knife sold for $450 and it's hand forged. Everything we've already said about it. If you want one, go to marsfireforge.com. Check out the available now page where I have some other knives available. And also you could just send me an email at marsfireforge@gmail.com. Check out my Instagram, other videos I have. Thank you for watching. Please let me know if you'd like something custom done for you. A lot of people really enjoyed it. I think you would too. See you next time.